I'm so glad I created the second channel because you absolutely never know what you're going to get from me on this one. And in this case, it's going to be kind of just a quick log and documentation of what I've been working on the past couple days that you will eventually see more on the main channel as well and everywhere. But long story short, we absolutely need to start like focusing on being a good business person. I'm extremely curious. I'm extremely like technical in a lot of different ways. And I would encourage you to like do some self introspection the same, like in the same way with yourself. It's like if you're not making the money that you want, but you know that you know a lot of things and you're talented in a lot of different areas, you got to like just sit down for like a whole day and just think about what could I actually be doing differently to generate revenue. Like in my case, I have no fucking offers and I don't actually actively sell anything. It's really simple. Like I mean, I could do both of those things and be like in a much better financial position. So that's pretty much what I'm moving towards. And in this, last couple days, what I've been thinking about and doing heavily is rebranding, actually rebranding because I did this like a month or so ago. FindIT to Motive 11, and Motive 11 is my agency that I've had for a long time as a web design and management agency, and I've gone through so many like hurdles now that I've actually looked at and given a fuck about actual like AI development and AI like vibe coding, but just more or less like the efficiencies that AI assisted workflows actually afford you. Because I really, to this point, hadn't done much at all. I've done a ton of chat GPTing, but like all text based. I used it for copy. I used it for, chapters and video and YouTube videos and stuff, but nothing like code oriented, nothing really image generation wise. But now, I mean, this stuff is getting really good. So I've made a couple of videos here and there about that, but I just want to stay like high level because I put in like serious work. I've worked more over the last like 4 days than I have in a long time, just because like when I see something new and with promise, like I really dig into it. And again, we just need to. I've been refining the offer. I've been going through. There was a video on this channel I don't know, a couple few weeks ago, where I say like how business works and like I've been doing business wrong, and I've been really going through that. Like so, like the vision, the offers, the actual marketing, the selling, like everything there, and it's been going well. And again, all AI assisted. You have to like take yourself out of this weird mindset where you feel like you have to make every single decision, you have to know everything, you have to like it's just not like that anymore. I don't know what to say. I feel like we're all kind of in this weird middle messy middle minutia area where we don't know what's going to happen long term. But the one thing that's for certain is you don't have to know everything anymore. You don't have to know every single bit of like syntax for things. You don't have to know every best practice for everything. I'm not saying it doesn't help to do that, but I am saying that there's so much out there that has already been done, that so many of the things that we're trying to do now, we don't have to reinvent the wheel on. And it actually, in some ways, depending on how you look at it, frees you up to zoom out and become more of like an actual thinker rather than an implementer. And that's how I'm using this AI. So that's like the main big thing. One other random thing though, the reason that I turned on the camera here is because I was watching some videos now, because now I've been in WordPress YouTube for such a long time, and I need to break out of that bubble. And I've slowly broken out of that bubble here and there. There's been some other like creators and content that I've consumed, obviously, but now I'm actually venturing into like, this week I've been fucking around with anti-gravity, Google AI Studio, Nano Banana, obviously. And I actually had Claude at one point. I was using it when it was really good for writing, and now I've just like used ChatGPT and Gemini. But I canceled my Claude subscription a while ago, but now I'm thinking I ran into an issue. I just published that video about the AI slop and the website that I'm trying to kind of like vibe code and just like get up quicker than a typical website would be for me. And I realized that the way in which AI Studio currently works right now, Gemini 3 Pro, it's kind of more built for apps, and it builds things in an app format. Like it doesn't build in a traditional website flow, like where you have multiple URLs and things. So that's a little bit of a hurdle that I'm working through. I think Claude Code would possibly set me up a little bit differently for that. So I was just like looking at it to try to experiment with that as well. And so that has put me on a different, wavelength of YouTube. I watched this video here from Alex Finn. Never heard of this guy in my life, but this is a pretty interesting one. It's about like Claude Code Desktop, which of course is only available on Mac right now. So at some point that'll be something that I probably mess around with. And then I watched this one, and again, I don't know the productivity dude or productive dude, but anytime that I watch videos like this with an avatar, that's a real person, but I mean like an avatar person that is kind of like me in a lot of ways, like technical-ish, probably likes business. I know this guy has like a membership. He wants to like do like online business guy, right? And I see myself in all these different people, whoever I'm watching. I'm like, there's some similarities between us, right? We know things, we try to share them with people, we make YouTube videos, etc. Anytime I watch this stuff, certain times it gets a little more interesting. I have actually not heard that many people talk about this concept of building websites with Claude Code, Codex, anti-gravity, like or whatever, like AI Studio. Only now when this whole UI thing came out with Gemini 3 Pro, where it's like the best thing ever, and Nano Banana is really good for image generation. Only then was I like, okay, maybe I could use this for websites. Everybody's been saying apps, and I'm like, you know what? There's like no good reason for me to go try to force myself into creating apps. I'm a marketer. Websites in and of themselves are not, I'll come back to this. Websites in and of themselves are not like inherently wrong. I made a video a couple days ago on this channel, I think, yeah, where websites are slowly becoming unsellable, and it did pretty well. Like people, that resonates with people, and people know that. People know that it's difficult to sell websites now because you're either in the WordPress land. I don't know who's custom building websites now, but you're either in the WordPress land, and WordPress is still the best like CMS overall, but it's Oldsville. Like there's so many old people there, love them all, but it's old. And it's kind of stuck in its ways a little bit. It's definitely not somewhere you go to make a lot of money. There you could, but it's not like that. That's not the culture. I'm giving you a little bit inside baseball if you're not in the WordPress area. But then there's all the no code platforms, which is actually kind of funny because if I had to pick between a no-code platform, WordPress, or vibe coding, there's zero chance I would pick a no-code platform because unless they start to seriously implement, like unless you could just jump into Webflow, which maybe you can, I don't have enough information, so somebody let me know. Unless you could hop in there and just build like the most incredible things, kind of like how Gemini is, but you build it within a platform that you could then edit very, very easily, maybe. But I don't think they're there yet. Maybe they are, but I don't know. What this thing has been able to spit out though in this, albeit an app format, Gemini 3 Pro, it's been incredible. Again, I have a video somewhere I can, maybe I can show it here or whatever, but it's just wild what you can do. And again, I was never a vibe coder. I never really inherited that. Like just look at this. Like this is a couple days of prompting and stuff, but like this is better than what I could have designed for sure. It's pretty simple still, but like there's some cool effects and stuff like that. Like, but it's better than what I could have designed. And I mean the amount of time that it would have taken me to like think about all this because I didn't know any of this information. This is all like, custom stuff that I consulted my employees or, maybe you could call my agents, but I didn't really do any like AI agents per se. But my I gave it a bunch of context and then it helped me decipher all the copy, the messaging, things like that. Made the logo. That's actually not the new logo, but like made like logos through Nano Banana, like just did a lot of stuff. And it's been a really productive few days here. So I can get this off the ground as quickly as possible. So I'm just showing you all this because this is where my mind has been for the last years. It's been in marketing. It hasn't been in product. It's been in marketing. It's been in like service-based business marketing systems. It's been in this manner. However, it's been done through WordPress. It's been done through an amalgamation of different like tools and systems in that realm, which aren't bad. They're all great tools, but you have to either be really, really good at it and be really, really good at business and be really good at time management and be really good at just running the whole thing and never get tired, or you have to hire a bunch of people. And if you're going to hire people, then you can't be doing anything else because you have to make enough money selling to do that. And if you're busy selling, then maybe you can't make the content. It's just the whole thing. This is basic business shit. Like I'm not, the only person that comes through this, but this is my personal experience. So that's what's happened to me. I pretty much like didn't want to do a lot of the work and didn't put any effort into like building the business because I probably several different reasons, but like I wasn't excited about any of it. And like I realized it was just a drag. And I see this writing on the wall of like I'm not even leveraging like half of the like even like 1% of the power of new technology that's out there. So I decided to just play around and see what I could do here. And I'm pretty impressed with like how far I've gotten in such a small amount of time with something like this. So again, this is all bullshit because if you don't start selling any of this stuff, then you don't make any money. But I mean, this is hooked up to a lead magnet. Again, it's pretty cool. So that's just what I mean. Now, to just tie it all together, I never thought of this though. I never thought, for some reason, I never thought of vibe coding websites. But the code in here is like clean. It's modular. It's compartmentalized. I'm not a TypeScript genius, but like I know HTML and I know CSS, enough to know what's going on. So, I think we're headed in the right direction with something like this, and I'm excited about this. So now moving forward, as I was saying earlier, I'll go back to this guy here. Um, I was watching this gentleman, and he was talking about like because this caught my eye because I was like looking at any like I don't see many people like I was saying earlier. How many people talk about Claude code and like designing websites or Gemini and designing websites? They talk about like UIs and they talk about apps. They don't talk about marketing websites. And then this guy apparently in this video he vibe codes. I didn't watch the whole thing yet, but he vibe codes something like this. And now this right here, okay? I think this is even down to the font. I think I used this font for my business at one point. This right here is what like my life has been for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Like just this type of shit right here. Like talking to a client, oh, it's like all the same shit every single time, yada yada. Talking to my peers, they're doing the same thing. It's like, okay, we're building a website for a company. It's the same shit. It's these pages, it's contact, it's home, it's about, it's services. Like, you know, and then I just look at this price too, like $1,700 for this, which I don't know what the end product is for this, but like, you know, if you're gonna charge this much money, this little money, truthfully, for something like this, you cannot spend that much fucking time on this. You absolutely cannot. And I don't know if this is necessarily um, a competitive number at all. I don't know the details of this necessarily, but I'm just saying, I'm just taking this. These are the meta minutia things that I pick up on when I watch content and when I talk when I'm in conversations, when I'm scrolling on X or whatever. This type of stuff is so in the weeds, but it's so interesting to think about. I mean, what are we even talking about here? We're charging $1,700 for websites now. Like, I know this is probably a small website, but that's such a small, unbelievable amount of money, half up front. And I'm not trying to criticize this guy for doing this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just like this is not a him thing. This is like an industry thing. Now, all I'm saying is that if the industry is headed this way, and the some of the public perception is that this stuff is easy, which I want to make a whole another video on that because that's actually not 100% true. But if that's where we're headed, you have to make this shit more efficient and you have to make it good, but you also have to make it like not gonna like you can't be spending all of your time doing this. Especially now when we back up and we realize that like code is code. It's not getting any crazier. Like yeah, there's definitely new techniques and new strategies and stuff like that coming out for sure. But it's code. Like so much code already exists. It's unless you are doing something completely innovative, somebody else is if we're being honest with ourselves, somebody else has probably already done it. So just utilize the knowledge that is out there to do the thing that you're trying to do as fast as possible. To do the thing for your client as fast as possible and to get it done. I have another thought on that. I don't know if this guy has any, if there's any, what's that? He's an N8N now too. Jesus Christ. For $1,700. I don't, again, I'm not trying to criticize, but holy fuck. I know you could basically one shot a website that simply, but I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with it too, just cause like this was not the goal of me watching the video first. It was me to kind of like see like what's possible. But again, this is like simple stuff, right? There's a whole nother existential question to ask if like we should even be building websites like this at this point, because I mean, what the fuck are we even doing here? Like every single website looks exactly the same anyway. So even if we vibe code them, what's the whole point of it, right? But I don't know. That's just one other thing. Now, the only other thought that I had was if we go back to that, you know, I don't know. It's just I just feel like that number is so small, and as somebody that has built websites for, several years now, I just feel like the skill that we have is pretty valuable. And you know what? When people tell you that you are well, when I don't it depends on where you're at, okay? I actually envy the people that aren't in peer-to-peer conversations too heavily because in my conversations are like such in a tight bubble that I feel like everyone knows everything and everyone knows everything about the state of AI. Everyone knows vibe coding is amazing. I'm gonna give you just a sprinkle of this because I don't want to make this video too long because every one of my videos ends up being long here. But I I just want to say that there are a lot of people, and I'm starting to realize this now as I zoom out, as I go to the vibe coding sections, as I have conversations with other people, as I actually do it for myself a little bit now that I'm actually getting my hands dirty here. There actually is not a lot of people that know about this shit. They know about the words, they know about like AI, they know about the concepts of like how it's helping, how it might be stealing jobs, how it might be. They don't actually know how to use it though. So if you are even like having any of these conversations, the biggest creators in this space right now still only have maybe like 250,000 subscribers. They don't get like millions of views like fucking Mr. Beast doing stupid entertainment shit. Like we are still, if you're having these conversations, this is me speaking to myself, do not fret. Like you are so fucking early still to this. I don't want to sound like Gary Vee, but you are still so early to this. And it's crazy to me because I feel like I was late to the party still. But we're barely getting started. So that's like the one bit of like good news and like good thought that I could have around this. But I do want to again speak directly to myself and others that may be like this. The thing is, do not, I'm going to try to say this almost every time I make a video from now on. Do not treat these things like gold tickets. They're tools. If you can't, no matter what the tool is, if you can't turn the tool into a revenue generating action or revenue generating business, like you can't leverage it into that, it doesn't fucking matter. Like you could have a job and you could play around and fuck around with these things and that's fine. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying that I, for a very long time, have been using WordPress as an example, as a tool, and I have not been turning it into money. I could have, and I still will. I'm not abandoning it. But like these things are even more effective, but I can't get lost in the fact that they're still just a tool. So as you see what I'm doing now, like the offers, actually selling, actually having a vision and knowing who you're selling to, all very important things. A lot of my content on my main channel is going to start moving towards that because I am sick. Honestly, I like the tools, but I'm sick of just making tool content. The people that I want to sell marketing systems to, websites, ads, etc., they don't give a fuck about tools. And the people that do care about the tools are actually trying to do the business thing, and they probably should be consuming and actually doing more business stuff. I feel like a lot of times, than just learning about new tools. So tools are important, but everything is nuanced. If you don't think that, then you probably don't, love any of my content because that's my one of my buzzwords. But yeah, so just needed to update you on all that. We're moving forward. It's exciting. There's a lot here. I'm just not going to continue to let AI not be a part of my tool stack. It's been creeping in there. And it was really great for the things I was doing text based, but now we're going multimodal. We're going image. We're going possibly video at some point. That's going to get really weird. And we're definitely going code because, I mean, it's too easy. And honestly, it trains me to be a better like thinker and manager than just an implementer and a technician, which drains the fuck out of me. So that's all I got. If you have any thoughts, please leave them down below. I'd be greatly appreciative of that. And I would love to have a chat with you down there. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you in the next one.